Hello everyone, my name is Ngọc Duy Nguyễn, student ID S224916123. Today, in this short tutorial, I will explain more to you a inheritance concepts. This is a fundamental concept of polymorphism. Hello everyone, my name is Ngọc Duy Nguyễn, student ID at 224916123. Today, in this short tutorial, I will explain more to you about inheritance. That is a fundamental concept of object-oriented development. So let's start with the definition first. So what is actually inheritance? So basically, inheritance is a mechanism that allow a class called subclass or a child class that can inherit. So it means use the attributes, methods, and properties of another class, and another class in this case called the base class or the parent class. So let's take a real world example. So for example, we have a person. So basically, a person will have a common attributes like the name of the person and their age. So if we consider to a student, so it is obviously that students is a kind of person. So however, for students, they also have more like their mark and the name of class where student belong to. So which means that student is a kind of person and includes their unique attributes. So basically, we can think that the person here is stored the common properties and behaviors of a person, and student can use these the common things and also includes their unique attribute and methods. So let's talk about what the subclass can do. So the subclass can first reuse the properties and behaviors of the base class or the parent class, and they also add their unique things like the unique attributes and unique methods, and even they also override the methods in the parent class that I will explain to you later. So the next one is the syntax of inheritance. So to implement the inheritance, first we have to set the access modifier of the subclass and the subclass name. Then to use in inheritance, we have to put the colons here and followed by the name of the base class. So besides for the access modifier, besides the public and private access modifier, we also can use the protected access modifier. So protected members mean that they only accessible for the class and its subclasses only. So let's quickly talk about why we have to inheritance. So I would like to highlight two important advantages of inheritance. The first one is reusability. So for reusability, as I taught before, because a subclass can, it can reuse the common methods and attributes in the parent class, so we don't have to write these common things again and again. So that allow us to prevent the duplication, that is the major error in coding. So it also reduces the development times when we design a big system, a large system, for example. And the second one I would talk is the polymorphism. So inheritance is actually can implement the polymorphism. So we have already learned about polymorphism as means the many forms. So inheritance allows us to override a method in a parent class. It means that a subclass can redefine or write again a method in the base class. So it means that a method can act in different ways, like in many forms based on the subclass. So that is quickly introduction to the inheritance. So in the next part, I will show the example coding. Alright, so in this case, I will show the example of vehicle. For example, I have a parent class called vehicle. Let's think about the something common attributes for vehicle. I would think that the vehicles maybe have a like the name of vehicles and the like the speed. Yeah, this is the common attributes, and then the constructor. Let's we write the constructor for vehicle. Just the string name and double speed. Yep, and let we think about another thing is common methods. So what is common methods for on vehicle? And I think that definitely on vehicles can write. So I can create a method called write, like public method. Sorry, a public void called drive. Let's console try like, and it will bring the message. This vehicle is driving. Yeah, just simple like that, and sets it into protected. So protected, as I said before, is the string and speed is also it's only accessible in the class and the subclass as well. And that's all for the parent class now. So let's think about, so in this case we're gonna think that there are lots of kinds of vehicles. So for example, a car, a bike, a train, and a boat, and even boats. Yeah, so there are lots of kinds of vehicle, and both of them they also have the name and the speed. But car, bike, train, and boats have their own unique attributes and methods. So that's why we're gonna think about inheritance to make the car, bike, train, and boats, for example, inherit the vehicles. So in this case, I want to use the example of car. So let we create a class called car and make it inheritance from the vehicle. So in this case, the colons and vehicle. So what happened here? So first thing, so what is the unique attributes of cars? So a cars can be have a like a number of wheels and like the number of doors, for example. So to build a constructor for car is a little bit tricky here. So for example, we have to first give the arguments for the name and the speed. And then the wheels and the door. And then we call the base name and speed. This will equal to wheels door equal to door. So what is actually mean here? So when we create a car object, we have to firstly give the name and the speeds. Then we have to call the base. So base here is that take the name and the speed that inputted in the car go to the constructor of the vehicle. So it means that when we create a car, our program will create a vehicle object first. It means it implies that car is a type of vehicles, and then it's construct after it's construct a vehicle object, it will add the unique attribute of the car in the wheels and the doors. So after the wheels and the door is initialized the car object, then we get a car object. So for example, let we create a car object called car equal to new car, and we input the name called Toyota. The speed is 100 with 4 door is 4. So let's think what happened in the debug mode. It's running. So now you can see that firstly, when it create a car object, it will call the base first to take the name and the speed, go to the constructor of the vehicles. So then it create a vehicle object. And after that, it go back to the constructor of the car to initialize the wheels and the door. And finally, we get a car object. So basically, it means that when we create a car, it will create a vehicle object and initialize the unique attributes of car. Then finally is a car. All right, so let's go to the car class. So in the car class, you can see that I didn't have the drive method. So the drive method is created in the parent class. However, because car inherits the vehicle, so I can also call the drive method from the car object. So for example, for the car object, I have the drive method here and run. Yeah, so Toyota is driving. Toyota is the name of the car. So I will try to create a vehicle object called object1 equal to new vehicle with the name A and the speed 20. So I can also the object one drive. Yep, so it works. However, if in the car class I create a method, for example, it's gonna be, so it's like the void public void wheel num. So we create a, so this method will return the number of wheel. So Now, from the car object, we can call the will num methods. But however, in the vehicle object, means the parent class, we do not have the will num. So it means that the child class can use all of the attributes and methods of the parent class, but the parent class cannot use attributes and methods of the child class. So I try to run the method card will and console try like. So let's just see what happened here. Yep, it's worked now. So I'm thinking about I create one more class called electric bike, and also inherits the vehicle. So now I didn't create some attributes, but also electric. We also have to give the electric by the name and the speed arguments, and then pass them to the constructor of the parent class. And so now I would introduce to what I say in the presentation. It is overrides. So what is overrides? Override is that in the parent class we create a virtual method. So the virtual method is that when we create a virtual method in the parent class, in the child class we are allowed to create the method with the same name and the same number of arguments as well, but the different implementation. So for example, in the parent class, I have the method try, and now I will describe it as a virtual method. So in the car class, to override the try method in the parent class, we will try as public override the try method. So in the try method in the car class, we will do something different, like we will bring the different methods. For example, this car is driving, and add the speed of the car as well. With the speed of this speed, and in the electric bike we can also override the try method as well. So public override drive. So we're going to do something different from the car and the vehicle. So I'm going to write a different method like, for example, ABC. Yep. And then we will test the override in the main class. So here, if we call the dry method from the vehicle object, so object 1, drive. It's reading A is driving. So however, because it is override in the car class, so it's going to be have the different outputs if we call the dry method from the car object. Yep, and also let's create a electric bike name B and speed 30, and then call the dry method from the object, from the electric bike object. Yeah. And now, as you can see that based on the object, the output of the dry methods will result and in the different result, yeah, different outputs. I mean, so it is the key ideas of overrides. The key ideas of the override is that we, based on the different class, based on the different object, when we as you can see that based on the different object, like based on the car, the vehicle, the car, and the electric bike, the output of the dry method is different. So this is one of the key concepts of polymorphism that I already referred in the presentation. So this is the end of the basic guide for inheritance. So if you have any questions, please comment below and I will pleased to answer all of those. Thank you.